Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm up early. It is 5:15 a.m. in Kingston, Jamaica. I've been up since 3 a.m. I went to bed early. No, this is so new for me because I have Graves' disease and normally I have problems sleeping, staying asleep, and then when it's time for me to get up, it's like I'm still not properly rested. I still want to sleep. But I noticed this is something I've been observing with me for the past couple of years. Anytime it hits winter, it's like my body, if I should describe a feeling, just think about Christmas. If you love Christmas and you're getting all the gifts, like all the gifts that you have ever dreamed of, everything that you gave Santa on your Christmas wish list, you got it, and you got all the gifts, and wishes from your friend, and you have the biggest, beautiful Christmas tree, well decorated. You have all the, beautiful, wonderful, tasty treats that you love. That's how my body feels during winter. It's like there's a celebration going on inside of me. Like I get so excited. I'm better rested. I'm a lot more calmer. I'm a lot more at peace, less agitated. My skin looks better. My complexion comes up. And it's just like magic, magic, magic for me. So, I went to bed early, just to make it clear. I went to bed maybe 8 o'clock, and then, by 3, I'm up. Is that bad? Absolutely not. That's good because that's what 7 hours of sleep. It's after 5. I'm gonna go back to sleep maybe around 6:30, and then by 10 a.m. the latest, I'll be up and ready again for the day, and I'll have more energy. I'll get more done around the house. I'll get, like I want to go everywhere, and normally I don't want to leave the house when it's hot. Like I don't want to get out there. I'll order my groceries online. I'll, pay all my bills online, and I just don't want to leave the house. If I want, like, I have a little coffee spot that I love to go to, and I would get like coffee, muffin, or stuff if I can afford it. And I don't even want to go there, or I might go there one afternoon, just to sit down and they play like instrumental music or jazz music. But if I feel like, okay, you've been in the house for 2 weeks now, it's time to go outside, I will go there and I'll just sit back and relax. Sometimes I don't want anything, but I'll just buy something, because I don't want to be looking like a loaf to just lurking around your business place. But I tell you guys, when it reaches the winter, it's like I feel like I've won the lottery. Everything is good, everything is perfect. Even last year when I lost my mom died November. And it was a hard time to deal with. Yes, it was very hard. But for some reason, when it got to December, I felt calm. And, when my family members came from overseas and we were all together, it was just such a beautiful, amazing thing, such a beautiful, amazing feeling. Like you just feel warm, you just feel fuzzy, you feel nice, and all of that jazz. So that's what I'm feeling now. I'm just looking at this on my skin. I just feel so good when it hits winter. I get up and I see, what do I want to change? What do I want to fix? My dresser looks a bit too, crowded. Okay, I can clear some stuff off the top. Let me pack them away here. And I come up with tips and ideas. How can I organize this? How can I organize that? And I'll clean my windows every single week. Once the temperatures are like this, I'll clean my windows literally every week. But when it gets hot, I clean my windows once in a while. because the heat is so hard to deal with Graves' disease. It's really, really hard. But it's my season. It's cool. And this is how I know that maybe if I should leave Jamaica, I would go live somewhere where it's really cool or very cold. I don't know. I guess I would have to see how I adjust to being somewhere that's very cold for a lengthy period of time, like a real lengthy period of time, like a year. And then I see, like, after that year, am I getting homesick? How do I feel? But I mean, like, it just gives me bliss whenever it's cool. It just feels like bliss, and every day will be like that for me. Even if I get a bad news, like after an hour, I switch out of it and I'm like, okay, life goes on. I have to go on. I have to move on. And I'm like, it's winter now. You can't waste this time because this is just something that you experience maybe for a month or two, depending on the temperature, because sometimes the temperature may last into January. And when I say the temperature, the cool temperature may last into January, sometimes if we're lucky into February. I remember as a child we would get these cool temperatures starting October, and then when it touches November, the ending of November to December, it would get really, really chilly. Even though in the country where I'm from, I can tell you that it is as cold as ice. Right now it's cold. Like, I have some outfits there, and if you look at all the outfits that I have back home, I have a lot of long sleeve and I have sweaters and all of this because it's cold there. Even in the day when the sun is shining hot, it is very cold there. So I know, like, it's very cold in the countryside. No. And it's because naturally the country has a lot of greenery and a lot of rivers, so it's just beautiful. It's just one of the best feelings ever. Guys, yes, I know I'm coming on here to talk about how I feel, for this winter, but I feel like, I have everything my heart's desire. I feel content. I just feel like all the gaps are filled and everything is just perfect. Even if it's not perfect, it's perfect. That's how I feel when it gets to this temperature. And the fan is still on because I don't know what's wrong with us as Jamaicans. No matter how cool it gets, we still have to turn on that fan and we keep it on the lowest temperature. I guess we enjoy the air being just so extra cool that we just can't get enough of that coolness on our skin, because we know that once it reaches, let's say, March, April, the temperatures starts getting, high, and we don't like it. We love the tropics, but sometimes the summer days are just too summery, too hot, and then you have to be using your AC unit, and then you have that high electricity bill that you have to pay. But no, we don't need the AC. But sometimes I have to hide out in my apartment because the people on my apartment, they don't respect boundaries. And this is not for everyone, but most of them, they don't respect boundaries. Like once I start recording, I'm up. I'm not downstairs, I'm up. So the people on the lower floor, they'll like come under my window section. And when people think that because you don't see them, you don't know they're there. Like, I know when people are moving around me, even if they try to be discreet, because I'm a sensitive person. So once you're sensitive and you're extremely empathic, then you're gonna sense things around you, and it's not gonna be paranoia or anything, because when you check, or if you send someone to check, they're like, oh, you're right, I definitely see people lurking around at your window, so sometimes I have to lock all my windows, lock all my doors if I crave that peace. Yes, guys. So as I was saying, it's not paranoia or anything. It's something that I've checked and I've clarified, and I've asked other people to check for me, and they've clarified. So I'm in a particular zone where it's like I'm in a globe, right? And if you think about the globe, it's round. And if someone from one end speaks something, depending on their volume, you can hear them. And then sometimes what will happen is that someone might be on the outside, over the other side, and they might be like playing music, and it will sound like the music is coming from that side when it's actually coming from this side. Okay, so I believe I said globe when I meant dome. It's like I'm in a dome, basically. And within this dome, it's just apartment buildings. And, it's often quiet for the most part, sometimes. But because we're in like a dome, like the sounds, they echo and they vibrate. So if someone is over, let's say, maybe not the apartment in front of mine, but the one to the side, if someone is over there and if they're playing music, if the music is loud, because sometimes people forgot, they tend to forget the rules. So they'll start playing music, and maybe for the first 10 minutes, you may hear the music loud. And then if someone over to the right apartment, the apartment that's on the right, is playing music, it will sound like I'm the one who's playing the music, right? And if the apartment that is, immediately in front of my apartment, if someone there is playing music, it sounds like it's coming from the apartment that's behind my apartment. So when you think of a dome, it's like everything, the sound keeps going back and forth like it's bouncing off a wall. So oftentimes when people speak and they make movements, you can know. You don't have to be nosy, but you can know, right? So I realized that once I'm recording, and especially if on that day my energy level is up and, I'm recording with vibrance and, humor, I notice that people come under my window and you literally hear them. You hear them. You hear every move they make. And then if I take a break, you literally hear when they close their door and go back inside. But I don't like that. Irritates me because I believe that people should mind their business. And people should mind the business that pays them. Because even when I'm recording, I ensure that I'm not loud. It's not anything to cause any disturbance, but they just want to hear you talking. They're so invested in your business. And if I was keeping a party to raise some money and invite them, they would say they can't afford to support me, but they can afford to put their nose in places and spaces where it doesn't belong. Typical, behavior of the Caribbean people. Typical behavior. Not everyone knows how to mind their business, But outside of that, it's a nice place, a nice space. But I love solitude and I love my privacy. I'm a bit of a hermit, if you know what a hermit is. I'm not a bit of a hermit. I'm more like a hermit. I love solitude and I choose my friends wisely. Like I really, really do choose my friends wisely. And I started realizing, a couple years ago that I just can't be going around having random friends and hey friends and hello friends and all of that, because I started realizing there's a pattern in Jamaica where a lot of people would get into trouble because of their friends. Their friends would involve in dangerous illegal activities. They would follow suit with a friend, or sometimes they don't even know anything about what the friend is involved in. And then they get caught in the center of something they're completely innocent of, and, take away years of their freedom. So I've, come to the realization that I need to choose my friends carefully, and I need to keep my circle very small. So I would say I've been doing that for the past, 10 years? I've had the same friends for the past couple of years, even though we're distant and we don't speak every day, they're still my good friends. But I love people. I love to be in a circle where the people are just, thinkers, critical, analytic people. And I love people that are creative, very artistic. I love friends that are well spoken. Even if they're going to act a bit ratchet, they should be able to turn it off and on. And I like friends that are in tune to humanity. You should not lose that human side of you for no reason or anyone. So that's just me. But I'm up early, and I decided that I wanted to come in here and talk to you guys for a little bit. So I'm just enjoying this temperature. My skin is calm, relaxed. It just feels blissful. But what about you guys? Do you like the winter? Do you like when it's cooler? I love when it's cooler, even if it's cold, because I can, put on 101 different layers and get warm without it costing me. But when it's hot, I have to be using the AC. And if you don't know, honey, utility bill is it's not very expensive in Jamaica. It is extremely expensive. It is so expensive that, all right, my friend in the States, she has a 2-story house, upstairs and downstairs, as we would call it. And her utility bill in the summer is far less than mine. And I have a 1-bedroom apartment. 1-bedroom apartment. And my utility would cost more than hers. So utility in Jamaica, and the rest of the Caribbean, some places, not all, it's extremely expensive, too expensive if you ask me. So the government is trying to take back more shares from the utility company, and they want to get some new ones to come in. Actually, they have them lined up, to provide alternative forms of energy that will be more cost effective to us. So I can't wait for that, because I want to get rid of this company. They're too expensive, way, way, way too expensive. But that's just me for how I feel at this point, because it is so cool. I feel like, it's just perfect. I'm just so grateful for this moment. You guys have no idea. I'm super happy about this moment in my life. But what about you guys? Let me know what's going on with y'all. Leave a comment. It's just a little chit chat video, instead of talking about someone else, let us talk about ourselves for a change. So catch you guys in my other videos later. Peace.